McLaren MP4-12C or MP4-12C, or as others like to refer to it as the 12C. I drove it 400 miles home from the McLaren dealership in Atlanta, Georgia. It was, for the most part, an uneventful drive. It's an amazing drive. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. I've owned lots of really cool cars, the Viper being the most extreme and the fastest and the loudest. This thing has that sense of on razor's edge and extreme, but it's more refined. And the transmission is far better than I could have ever imagined out of a dual clutch. The shifts are smooth, they're seamless, they're quick. But I did notice one problem on the way home. At interstate speeds, which is usually around 70, 75, I noticed a really loud whistling coming from the passenger side door, the window. Upon further inspection, I noticed it's from this weather strip right here. What's probably happened is this has aged and become a little more rigid. The temporary fix that I'm going to do for that, since replacing this molding is going to involve a trip back to the dealership, I'm going to pull this back and I'm going to shove some material back behind this to push this out just enough to seal this against the window. Another problem I've noticed, and I noticed this upon my initial inspection, the finish on the wheels is flaking off. I'm not really a fan of the silver. It looks clean on this car, but I'm thinking of a color change here within the next month, something along the lines of matte black, matte gray, or probably a metallic gloss gold, or even a bronze. Another problem with the car is mold in the headlights. This is a very common problem with 12Cs. The headlights are not sealed, so moisture, condensation builds up inside of these, and as a result, mold spores end up in there and you end up with this weird clouding. To correct this, the bumper fascia has to come off, headlights have to come out, I have to heat up the seam, loosen up the adhesive, and pry it apart. In addition to that, I'm going to have to wet sand and buff these because, as you can see, the factory clear coat is coming off. It's another common problem with not just McLaren headlights, but headlights of all newer vehicles. The wiper arms have a little bit of corrosion that's built up near the hinge. I looked into a used replacement wiper assembly just for this arm and blade. The cheapest I found was $500 on eBay. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull this off, sand that down, prime it. I have a paint that's a very similar match. It's a paint I used on a couple components on the Viper. It's more of an industrial kind of a matte black paint. I'm going to use that to correct that. Doing a quick check on the motor, I noticed that the coolant overflow tank was very loose, and it turns out that one of the three tabs securing it to this metal bracket was broken. There's two ways I can go about this. I think temporary fix, I'm just going to put some plastic bonding adhesive on there just to do a quick fix. The other one could be send it to the dealer, then replace it under warranty, or try to outsource one of these overflow tanks and just replace it myself. It looks to be an extremely easy repair. If I counted this right, I think I see 3 hoses coming out of it. I'll lose a little bit of coolant in the process, but it's going to be a very easy fix. While I have the carbon cover off of the motor, also notice that this little decorative cover is loose. Another very easy fix. It's just a little bit of adhesive. We'll bond that back together. This is just decorative. This thing is completely superficial. It does absolutely nothing to the function of the car. The coolant reservoir is a little more severe. I think if I had continued to drive it that way, at some point these two forward tabs would have broken, and then I would have had the thing shaking violently and causing one of the 3 hoses to knock loose, spewing coolant all over the place. All in all, I'm extremely happy with the car. These are just minor problems to me. I knew that this car could potentially be problematic since it's a first-year car. I like to tinker. Of course, my concern is with the warranty. I don't want to do anything that's going to potentially jeopardize that. You know, the things I'm doing to this now, you know, if the coolant reservoir fails after I tampered with it, I have no doubt they're not going to cover that. But I see something like that as an extremely minor problem. My bigger concern is expensive things going out, like something with the brakes, rack and pinion, motor transmission. So far, this is the first video, and I'll continue to update everyone out there as to what's going on with the car. I do plan to daily drive this thing to an extent during the nice months of the year around here, and while doing that, I'll try to do some talking while I'm driving to give everyone a real world sense of what it's like for me owning it where I live, and share with everyone out there what that's like. And I really do appreciate everyone who's followed me thus far. Sorry I didn't do a send-off with the Viper. It was kind of a last-minute impulsive decision. It happened way faster than I anticipated. I thought that I was going to put the car up for sale and have all summer to still enjoy the car while I looked for a buyer, but a buyer materialized within 24 hours, and they are currently enjoying that car. Thank you all for watching.